I saw a man, he was digging a hole, looking for silver, looking for gold, hoping to find the...
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Luber from American Digger Magazine's Relic Roundup. Also, I'm a sales associate over at Treasure Mountain Detectors. Wife and I are getting ready to go to a beach destination on vacation. When I travel, which I typically do with at least 2 detectors, some people always ask, how do you travel with your detectors? That's a pretty darn good question. I know some people are actually a little bit nervous about it, but really it's not all that bad. I've traveled, like I said, many times with detectors, and so far I've only had one minor issue, and that was a detector got held up at the airport on my return for about half an hour or so. They found it, I got it back, it's all good. So if you're out nervous about going out flying with your detector, don't be. I actually, they see them quite a bit nowadays, and it's all good. So anyway, let's get to take a look and see what I have going on. Okay, so here's what I'm taking along. I'm going to be taking along my CTX, waterproof, multi-frequency machine. We also have the Beach Hunter ID. That is a dual frequency machine and waterproof down to 10 feet as well. I could probably take along one of my other machines. I actually have a CZ20, which would be great to take along, but I can only take along 2 machines. So I had to pick and choose. Still trying to decide right now, but I think for now it's going to be the Beach Hunter. But anyway, let's take a look, see what I have. I'm going to take along 2 coils, 17-inch and the standard 11-inch. Also have a spare coil bolt and washer setup, with one actually in the lower shaft of the machine. Have my waterproof headphones, Gray Ghost, and I'm going to be traveling. And these actually, the machines are going to be going in my carry-on bag, which is right there. Just a standard carry-on. Nothing special about it. Standard carry-on. I think it's 22 inches long by I believe it's 15 inches wide by about a foot deep. Even though I am going to be handling my machine, I still carry it in with the covers on it, just because I want to keep the machine and protect it as much as I can. The other machine I have going along is the Beach Hunter ID. Like I said, I have the coil stabilizer on the coil. It actually helps when you're out in the surf, getting hit by waves, actually, so your coil doesn't flop around, which is awfully handy. Also have the Anderson shaft. This is their travel shaft for the Beach Hunter ID. Anderson shaft makes some fantastic shafts for pretty much most machines. Anyway, let's put it that way. For many machines out there, for many makes and models. If you feel like your machine isn't quite balanced the way you like, check on Anderson shaft. They have the products that will actually help balance that machine out a lot better. I also have, here's the Beach Hunter ID, of course. Like I said, the batteries are out off of both machines. When you're traveling, you want to take your batteries out of your machine. They're going to be here in the bag. I'm going to be putting that, and tell you what, it's good to have it all with you. As much as you can. If you can have it inside the travel bag, it's great. The Anderson shaft, this is the travel shaft. It breaks down and it will fit inside this bag. So I actually have the vast majority of 2 machines in this one bag. Have a battery pack for the whites. Also, right now I am actually recharging the rechargeable pack. That will be my main pack that I use. It will last for 40 hours worth of detecting, so I probably will not run out of batteries with that, but then this battery pack has the alkalines in it. It's a full 12 volts, ready to go. Also have some spare AA batteries that will be going along as well. Also with spare stuff, I have a package of some spare, and there's a stock gasket for the CTX, and I actually have some spares here. Also some O-rings that actually can go underneath the connections on the back side of the display for the connections for the updates and stuff. And also I have the battery charger for the CTX, and also something I also found that is pretty helpful to have. This is an old phone waterproof case. The phones don't fit in this thing anymore, but it does fit a wallet. It's always good to have your wallet with you, and it does have a little lanyard, an attachment point, so that actually, if it does come out of your pocket, it will not float away because it is still attached to you by this lanyard. So, good thing to have. All right, let's, oh yeah. Also have a bag here for collecting the shells and debris and stuff, trash as well. So, and if you sit on the airplane and need some reading, there's some fine reading material for you as well. Great book. Christmas is coming. Get out there, get that book, make a great Christmas present for someone. So let's take a look and see how we're going to do this. All right, one of the things I like to do, start out with the bigger coil. It 17-inch coil, literally just barely fits in this bag. When you're doing this, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but you always have room underneath the coil, at least with the bags with the rollies on them. This is one of the rolly bags. So it has the extendable handle on it, and where that handle goes, you can actually slide your coil connectors up underneath your coil so they don't take up any more room out of there. That is a very handy thing to do. And then I like to then start placing smaller coils then on top, trying to minimize, if you can see right here, connections for the coil are going inside the coil here, and I'm also taking this connector and also putting it underneath that bracket or through the bracket area underneath the coils. Takes up a lot less room. And we'll see what we can do else from here. All right, let's take a look at what my next step was. I actually taken apart the Anderson shaft. This is the travel shaft, so it actually does come apart very nicely. We actually have the upper portion with the handle on it underneath, and it sits vertically in the bag very nicely. The lower portion of the shaft is just a hair too long to fit in this particular bag. I know it will fit in some because some airlines actually allow 24-inch bags. This is a 22-inch, and it would fit in it then. But I had to lay that diagonally across there. And also over here in the corner, the back corner, is the arm cuff. Just kind of laying in the corner, taking up a lot less room. We can actually stuff some stuff in there later on. Okay, the next step was to put in the body, coil, and headphones of the Beach Hunter ID, and also insert the Gray Ghost headphones. So the coil is laying at the same angle. Right there is that Anderson shaft. I put it shaft to shaft. They kind of slide off of each other and take up a lot less room. The body of the machine actually fits inside here very nicely, along with the headphones. And realistically, that was one full machine inside the bag. And CTX just too darn big to fit in there. It actually has to get checked in. That's one of the things that makes me nervous. Because realistically, I'm going to a beach destination. I could literally get all my clothes in this bag with the Beach Hunter ID and realistically probably one other machine. But it is what it is. Now I have to put all of this stuff into this portion. And not a big deal. I mean, it's all very minor, very small stuff. So we'll catch you on the next step. All right, one of the things I neglected to talk about was scoops. And there are two different kinds of scoops, realistically. There is a sand scoop, which has an open basket. In this case, this one actually has a two-piece handle right here. It's a two-piece handle, and I actually have a rare earth magnet and a hard disk drive magnet. I actually put those in the back of the basket, and it collects a lot of bottle caps and things like that will set off the detector and give you that iffy signal. You dig it, it'll snap to that so you don't lose it. But this one has an extended handle, really nice, so you don't have to bend over quite as far. And the other big scoop that I always carry when I go water hunting, I mean, this is big. Big old water scoop. Actually has graduated holes in there to allow the smaller stuff to stay in up front here, and then as it moves back, you know, the bigger sand particles, rock particles, shell particles can fall out. Of course, the bigger stuff, obviously the big stuff doesn't fall out, but it allows you to sift through that. And that's a very heavy-duty stainless steel. I've had the scoop for years. Sunspot, can definitely recommend them. I know there's some other great scoop manufacturers out there. Not all T-Rex, make some great scoops. This is just one that I've actually had for years, and it's a great scoop. It's been working for me for 15 years. But it has all the bracket hardware over here, and also I always carry, you know, the little wrench to make sure I can actually put together and take apart the scoop. But it has 2 brackets, actually 3 brackets, I guess. It has 3 brackets right there, and I always carry along some spares for those as well, just to make sure that I have, you know, some spare brackets as well, just in case one of them were to fail or get lost along the route. And also have a robo handle. The gentleman that makes these is just, it's wonderful. This little portion pivots, so it actually packs away very nicely. You put it underneath your handle, and you can actually pick it up a whole lot easier this way than just trying to grab a hold of it. So very ingenious little piece of equipment. If you're doing some water hunting, definitely recommend you look them up. Robo handle. But yeah, as you can see, I have actually cut down a spade handle. This particular scoop, and a lot of scoops like this, come with a spade handle, or they're made to put a spade handle in. Because a full-length spade handle does not fit in my carry-on, I just went to the hardware store and I picked up, you know, a spade handle for, I think it was $9. Cut it down, and it's ready to go. Cut it just long enough to barely fit into my bag. As you see, it's end to end. Takes up a lot of room, but I tell you what, you get out that little bit deeper water, and you're going to hunt for places where people normally don't hunt, and hopefully you find the stuff that people don't normally find. The rings, the necklaces, things along those lines. So those are my scoops. They actually go in the bottom of this bag. This is one of those bags that actually has a closed compartment on top, and usually what I do is I put my detecting equipment in here, at least the scoops. We put our shoes down in here. Other things we'll put in here, like for this trip, since we're going to a warm destination, tropical destination, we're going to put some swim fins in here with it as well. So it's going to be fully packed. And then we put our clothes on top, or some clothes anyway, because yes, I'm going to have my CTX in there, and I do not want it being buggered up. So I actually packed clothes in around the CTX inside this. So there you go. That's my traveling with my detectors and beach scoop stuff. So thanks for joining me. We'll catch you at the beach.